Hello everyone, I am back today with another video. This is going to be a ranked game against Lord Invader. He is someone I have played only once on Strategus, and it looks like I did get the win in that game. I don't remember playing that game or anything about it. I know that he is overall a solid player. He's about 450 elo currently, but he is a player that I would expect that I should probably be able to defeat in most cases, I would say. Now that's pretty aggressive from him there with the kernel. This is actually a pretty unique setup. It's one I just kind of built just for fun pretty recently. I don't know if it's good or not. It's a little bit unique, I guess, like both kernels here. Spy on this side, and then kind of the flag with the isolated general there on the left, a little bit buried as well. The idea is to attack with these pieces here on the right, although and that kind of inhibits that a little bit, and I also lost my lieutenant in the center, which is a bit unfortunate. Wow, okay. Go ahead and scout another captain there. So he's got really strong pieces on the front lines here. He's got 2 captains, 3 captain with this one, and then a colonel. So getting pretty aggressive here. It has paid off, because he's going to be up 2 lieutenants now. Was a captain lieutenant, but now he knows my major, so that's arguably even better a result for him. No, not a terrible start for him at all. That was pretty solid, especially with that colonel capitalizing on a captain and then snagging lieutenants on both of these 2 flanks here. Or I guess I should say the center and that flank. I do probably anticipate, now this is kind of hopeful for me, that maybe he has a captain accompanying his colonel here. But I do want him to attack more on that side, just because I'd rather, get something from my colonel than just trade it off. I think I'm going to come up with my major and pressure this captain, just to kind of restrict his movement, maybe incentivize him to move on this side, and I'll take that. Sergeant could be better, could be worse. That's fine. I think this is probably not a good piece. Yeah, I'm going to keep that scout there. I don't think that's a good piece, actually. So we both had front row colonels there. His was a bit more effective than mine, but at least mine got something before trading. Now I do have my second colonel that's just sitting here, so I will be certain to use it, bring it around there. This could be captain, major, something of that sort, so I'm just going to leave it there. If he takes with major, I'll take back with colonel. Okay, scout there, so I figured that wasn't a good piece. I almost think like it's perhaps covering up maybe this piece, or something to that effect, that maybe this is a good piece. Maybe something that could guard the colonel. So I'm thinking like potentially a marshal, but it's also a bit out there, so I'm not sure. He did move this straight away over, as if to, cover up the potential for any of my scouts that might be on this flank, this column here, to shoot up and scout it. So he is at least, I would say, wary of me scouting this piece. Now I move my colonel back here because if he comes around with this piece, I don't want him to have like free access to my colonel. So what I'm going to do is, if he actually pursues this, is I'll move my captain down. I'm going to take this with captain. Okay, scout, that's fine. Anyway, I would move down with my captain. I'll go ahead and move over with that. I'll keep the pressure up. He's going to scout my major. I guess that's fine. I'm not too concerned with that. If he like moves over with the piece, or maybe like around and up against my major, I will probably move over and attack the captain for info. Okay, so he's not going to let me do that. I'd be fine with trading. In fact, I will do that. Just because I have 2 known pieces in the center here that don't have like the best defense available here. So I'm alright with that. So we'll trade captains, get them off the board. I don't want to like move my major back here because I think that makes the marshal and the spy maybe a bit too obvious. But I'm going to come up with a scout here. So I know captain here, and that's the only piece I know. I'm down 2 lieutenants. I'm up a sergeant. And we are even on scouts as a result of him scouting my captain that was traded and then this major. So he knows 2 majors, and I know a captain. So he has the info advantage as well. So I'd say he definitely is like winning at this point in the game. He's up material and info. None of that info is important, like super important yet. But I'll move back. If this is a, okay, I was going to say, if that's like a lieutenant, then I guess I'll just let him have, he'll have the scout, he'll have the good position. I'm going to go ahead and scout this major. Okay, that's fair. I'm probably going to come over with my second major here, just because I think my defenses in the center are getting a little thin. We are trading off. We traded. Well, I've lost a good bit of like mid-range pieces. I would say captains and lieutenants there. So it makes me seem perhaps a bit more drained than he would be. I'm going to move over with this sergeant here, try to bluff him. Worst case scenario, if he takes it, then yeah, I mean, I'm not up a sergeant anymore if he does that, but I think he'll believe it. At least he has so far. He might take it now that I've advanced pretty carelessly into his setup here. Marshal, perfect. Well, that was very good. That was a good bluff that worked out pretty well, I would say. All right, so I'm going to move like that with my major. And then I'm going to clear the way for my general to come trap this captain, which it appears he's going to allow me to do. At least so far, he's not advancing his marshal over. I also considered moving my spy up there, but I'm going to not do that. I'm going to take the captain. There's probably Colonel here. And I think he was pressuring me with this garbage piece. Oh, wow, okay, General. So that was good that I took it then. Because otherwise I would have just been wasting my major on a General. So I think I definitely have the info advantage now. I think hopefully this is a major. That would be, okay, so he's going to scout my lieutenant. That's good. I have this out here just to kind of bluff a marshal. Like bluff that it's, protecting maybe a marshal or a spy or something like that. But I obviously don't want him to come down with his colonel here, because my flag would be a little bit vulnerable if he did that. So if he starts to advance, I'm going to come over with this sergeant. But his marshal has assumed a pretty aggressive position here. Also important to remember this is his major. So I know a major here, I know a colonel here, and I know the marshal. So I am down a major, and I'm down 2 lieutenants. I am up a captain though, and crucially I have pretty good material, info advantage here, I would say. I'd love for this to be a major, and it is. So am I going to be able to trap this major? I don't believe so, no. No, because he can run it away. Yeah, okay. Okay, well I am going to get at least one of these pieces, so that's nice. Lieutenant, that's good. Okay, and then he's going to opt to not be aggressive with his major. So he did discover my colonel, but I do have a pretty aggressive position now. I'm gonna just pressure his major as much as I can, I think. Do that. That way he has to move his marshal out. to be able to use his major at all, or to like escape it. And if he moves his marshal over, then I can kind of move up again, and he's forced to either follow his marshal again or move down. Okay, so he's gonna have to like move some of these pieces out of the way. So it's kind of an easy way for me to apply annoying pressure that kind of prohibits him being able to develop his pieces. Okay, there's an argument to be made that I probably should have come up with my marshal here, but actually I can take this piece because that's a free lieutenant, because he takes back with marshal and then I just take the major. So that's another great way that I can make back a piece like that. The only thing that would be better is if I took that with a captain, but that works out for me because I get that major back. So I'm no longer down any lieutenants, which is pretty exciting. Alright, so that simplified the situation there pretty well. I am down that major still. I don't know his last major. I'm up a captain, no longer down any lieutenants, which is good, but I know his marshal and his colonel, and he only knows my colonel. Alright, so let's come up with, I guess, this scout here. Okay, I'll go ahead and retreat with that. I'm going to pretend like this scout is a good piece. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and retreat with this lieutenant. My task here is to find his major. Okay, interesting. Okay, scout, that's fine. Let me see if I pressure him what he does. I think this is a believable marshal. He might go trade colonels, which I guess I'm okay with. Am I okay with that? Because my task here is to get a major back. I think I'm actually going to prevent him from trading colonels. Okay, this could be a scout trying to come and find this bomb. Okay, another piece joins the action here. I expect this to be a garbage piece that's trying to figure out what my sergeant is. I'm going to take it. Hopefully it's not a lieutenant. Okay, well, that's unfortunate, but oh well. Move up with that minor, pretend like it's a captain. Hopefully he believes it. That's a bit unfortunate that he chose to use a lieutenant as his testing piece against my sergeant there. I would have much more expected a sergeant trade or a minor, or something like that. I'm not really sure he can afford to go down a captain and a lieutenant in that situation. That's a bit surprising. Go ahead and keep up my bluff by pressuring this piece. Okay. Now I gotta figure out where do I think where does his pieces come from? His marshal, wow, pretty bold there, but I guess I have to respect that. That's an odd move because I can stop this like a lot of different ways. He thinks this is my spy, and I guess he's trying to scout it. I mean, this can block, this is move, so he knows that this can block. I might just block with this to make it simple. So I know Marshal, Colonel, and Lieutenant here. I'm trying to remember where his pieces came from. His Marshal was revealed from here, and his General came from here, and he also had a Colonel here. I remember now, because I came up with that Sergeant to find his Marshal pretty cheaply. Okay. Okay. What are we doing here? Maybe he's gonna scout this, or maybe this piece. It's a bit odd. I have material advantage, or info advantage, but I'm down on material. Especially that sergeant in the center, that being captured was not ideal. It does give me hope knowing that he's going to use something as valuable as lieutenants at his testing piece, though. So that means I could get more of them back in the future. But okay. Interesting. I'm really not sure what to do here. I don't want to advance with any captains or anything until I can find out where his major is. I'm going to come down here with my colonel. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that makes sense. This piece was from the back row, so that wouldn't be a very believable marshal. Okay. I think I'm going to rotate these pieces so that my spy is sitting out. I feel comfortable enough doing that because I know this last scout of his, and I can always trade it if he tries to move his colonel out of the way to allow himself to scout it. And I think if he takes it with any other piece, I think I can mitigate those damages. This is interesting, though. I do appreciate the sort of the breathing room that this gives me, because he already confirmed this is not the spy by moving next to it. I'm going to try to come up with my marshal here. So lieutenant here. I'm going to come over with my colonel now. I'm hoping this is not a major that just runs rampant into my setup here. I've not really done anything to insinuate this could be the marshal. Okay. There's the lieutenant. Interesting. Well, I'll go ahead and take that. That's probably going to be his major based on that move. Which I guess is an even trade, because now I'm up a colonel at least, although he's going to win a captain, I would assume. Wow, okay. Okay, that's really good. So that was a really good, I guess, timing with my marshal. I'm assuming this is not a major based on his hesitancy. I think the only play there is to just immediately smash in, if that is his major. And I think it probably would have been smart to have come up with a major before taking a risk like that with the colonel. I suppose it still could be the major, but that wouldn't make much sense to wait. I will take that. What in the world was this? Sergeant. Okay, maybe he lost my colonel, and maybe this is a major after all? Oh. Okay, well, no complaints there from my end. I still don't know where his major is, but it appears that he forgot my colonel. And of course he did also just give me his colonel, which I was pretty happy to get. That was a good, I guess a well-timed bluff, I would have to say. That does relieve some pressure, because especially the fact that that was a captain trade. I know this is a scout, so I'm going to want to probably move there to prevent the scout from going here. And then I'm going to want to bring my marshal towards the center, and then probably also retreat with the colonel just to be safe. Okay, interesting. Ooh. Okay, I'm going to come over with this miner, but I am going to have to block with the lieutenant, this scout here, to make it believable first. I would also be happy to trade my last scout now, if I'm given the opportunity to do that. I do want to, I'm bringing this over as a bluff just to absolutely prevent him from lottoing. I do suspect this is the major after all. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and retreat with this. I mean, I guess this could be a spy as well. I did have my general on that side. I wonder if he'll believe this. Okay, good. Nice. That's good. Okay, let's come up with this lieutenant, which is already moved, and let's try to... Let's do that, just to prevent his marshal from moving in at all. Okay, that's good. Let's go ahead and try to trade off this colonel. And I've got my marshal in the center to counteract any major that he might have here. Okay, so he doesn't want to trade. Again, he's pretending that's his major. I don't know if I believe it or not. I guess it makes sense. But also, it might be the spy. I'm going to go ahead and trade scouts here if he lets me. Okay. Interesting. I don't want to lose a lieutenant in a situation where he is bluffing me. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and trade, and then I'm going to come up with this lieutenant through the center and see if he tries to bluff me or maybe if he doesn't. Or like if he tries to, pretend this is the major maybe or something like that. Let's see, how does he react if I do that? Does he threaten me? I don't know where it would be more likely for the major to have come from. Alright, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to move over here, and if he takes with major, then I'm going to pressure with my marshal, chase him up the side here, and then try to come around with my colonel and trap his major, if this is his major. I feel like it might be this one. I think he's bluffing me here. I feel like he's more the type to be passive about it, whereas he's actively going to pressure my lieutenant with this piece. But with the real major, he's actually going to be more cautious. So I guess this could be the real major anyway. Oh, okay, just a bluff. Even better. Perfect. Okay. I was going to say, like, he might leave the real major there and just have been doing that to put himself in a better position. But I would really love to trade off this lieutenant. Yeah, he's actually gonna have to kind of force trade here because he doesn't want me to take this miner or spy or whatever it is. Very good. So I think now I have most probably ascertained the major. I think it's this one. And I think he was being cautious with the piece. I'm going to move there. That way if he, takes that with his marshal, then... Well, actually, I'll just move it over. Oh, well, that's fine. Okay. So that is, in fact, not his major. So he did get the spy, but he is now down that piece. Okay. Interesting. So we've both been very protective of our miners. He is up that major. He did get my spy there. I did think that was probably the major. I'm pretty happy to get a lieutenant for that piece, because now that means I'm up a captain, I'm up a lieutenant, and I'm up a sergeant. But this game is not over yet. I am the favorite, I would say, but again, this will still be a challenge. So he already brought a sergeant from this side, although I suppose it was actually a piece that originated from here. It was the first major bluff. But I'm going to come up with a minor and just see if I can accomplish anything. If I can just make him reveal his setup anymore. I guess this is the spy. I mean, well, his spy might just literally be unmoved. I mean, his general did come from, what, here? I guess? That piece is a back row piece. Do I think that's his major? Probably not. That is not his major because he would have... Oh. Well, he's just going to trade. I mean, yes, please. I will be more than happy to do that. I do not believe this is his major, because my known lieutenant threatened it, he ran away, and then decided to trade. I'm not sure why he would trade marshals there. Was it a minor that he was planning on bluffing? I'm not sure. I'm going to go ahead and just attack something here with this minor. Bomb. That's a good thing there. I guess I'll go here and then over. I mean, I don't really... I guess I'll do that. If it's his major, then whatever. I mean, I can afford to lose it. I was a little bit concerned about the fact that my spy was gone and his marshal could kind of dance around, especially because I don't really know where his spy is. But then he just traded marshals, so I don't really have that concern anymore. Alright, I guess I'll go here. I mean, is this his major? Oh, spy. Okay. I mean, I did think this was probably the most likely to be a spy out of his remaining pieces, since it, I guess, was 2 spaces below where the general came from. Another bomb. That's good news for me. I'll keep attacking, because why not? This is probably a minor here. 3 bombs in a row. Minor trade, excellent. Okay, so this is, again, probably a minor, I guess. It's not the major. I kind of already know that. Okay, I guess I will come up with a sergeant then. Chase this minor out of my territory, or trap and kill it, depending on what he does in response. Looks like he's going to run away, which means the new plan is to trap and kill. Again, at this point I have such an advantage in pieces that I can more than afford to lose a lieutenant, a captain, a sergeant, something like that, to his major. I'm not at all concerned about that. And I do presume this is his major. I mean, I don't... I mean, he's definitely playing the long game, I guess, either way. If it's another bluff, that's pretty unexpected, I guess, but let's go there. Come up, assist with another piece from the back row. I will be more than happy to take that minor, reveal your major, I assume. Okay, yeah, finally. That works. I'll go ahead and come up with a captain. Pretend this is my minor streaking to his flag. Maybe I'll hit it with a minor or a sergeant or something like that. I'm going to go ahead and cut this off, though. Don't want him to really lotto anything. Alright. I do know 3 of his bombs. Unless he has an open flag, this piece in the corner is not a bomb, and it's indeed a minor. Okay, I'm going to just lotto now just to find out where his pieces are. Yeah, so his tripod is probably here. And he's probably got a sergeant and a minor. I guess we'll move this over. Okay, or his flag is there. Okay, so his flag was not in the tripod, but it was a little bit trickier location. I feel like this game could have been a lot more drawn out and even a lot more maybe competitive towards the end, but I think him trading marshals was a huge mistake, because my colonel was well in position to respond to anything he had. And I think once he gave up, I don't understand the play to trade marshals. I think it was a pretty even game, definitely forcing me to have to work for the win before he did that. But I'm not going to complain too much because it resulted in me getting the win eventually. I think I played pretty well. I think he also played pretty well. It was a pretty even matchup for most of the game. And then I think really me taking his Colonel and his Major not being in a position to respond quickly with a counterattack was the key to me winning here. So pretty happy with that. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.